and welcome to EZGlutenFree. Today I'll be making this cranberry, apple, walnut crumb pie. Or you might as well just call this one of the many reasons I need to eat that diet veggie soup so often, 'cause this one's a dieter's nightmare. Now the pie itself is bursting with flavor. You've got the tart cranberries mixing with the sweet apples and spices, but it's that buttery bottom crust combined with the double thick walnut crumb layer that really makes this decadent. Alright, to make the filling you'll need 12 ounces of cranberries that you've rinsed and drained, 3 apples that you've peeled and diced, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, 1/2 cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon of apple pie spice, and a teaspoon of cinnamon. And for the crust you'll need 1 1/4 cups of gluten-free Bisquick, 6 tablespoons of cold diced butter, and 4 to 6 tablespoons of cold water. And for the crumb layer, we'll need 1 1/2 cups of chopped walnuts, 1/2 cup of gluten-free Bisquick, 4 tablespoons of cold diced butter, 1/2 cup of dark brown sugar, and a teaspoon of cinnamon. Okay, now to make this, preheat the oven to 350 degrees and grease a 9-inch deep dish pie plate pan. Okay, now to make the crust, in a medium bowl, combine the gluten-free Bisquick and butter. Then using a pastry blender, cut the butter into the Bisquick until you have a texture resembling fine crumbs. You could also do this with a food processor. Now stir in the water, starting with about 3 tablespoons, and adding a tablespoon at a time until you have a fairly crumbly ball of dough. Now empty the crumbly pie crust into the prepared pan. I like to use the back of a spoon to get it fairly evenly distributed before pressing it into the bottom and up the sides of the pie plate. At this point I like to chill the crust while I continue with the other components. For the crumb layer, in a medium bowl, stir together the gluten-free Bisquick, cinnamon, and brown sugar. Add the butter and cut it into the dry mixture. You could either use a pastry blender, or you can just break the butter up between your fingers like I did until the mixture resembles coarse crumbs. Now stir in the walnuts, and the crumb topping can be set aside while you mix the fruit. In a large bowl, stir together the cranberries, apples, cornstarch, sugar, cinnamon, and apple pie spice. Once all the fruit is pretty well coated, pour the mixture into the prepared chilled pie crust, then try to make sure it's evenly distributed. Fill in any bald spots around the edges by moving the fruit pieces around. Now at this point, since the pie looked pretty full, I transferred the pie plate onto a foil-lined baking sheet before spooning over the crumb mixture. Try to make sure you have it packed down into all the edges and crevices to make it more likely that this pie will stay together when you go to slice it. Bake the pie for 1 hour, then remove it from the oven and allow it to cool completely to room temperature before refrigerating it to chill completely. This pie was sliced after 4 hours of refrigeration, and although it had a very solid consistency, I still massacred the first piece. It was so bad I had to serve it in a bowl with a dollop of whipped cream. But even that slice, or bowl, was incredible, and the other slices came out relatively unharmed. And if you don't feel like making a pie crust, this whole thing can be done as an apple cranberry crumble. Just skip the entire crust making process and continue on with the rest of the instructions. That move will also save you about 150 calories a slice. However you want to make this, I hope you'll give it a try. And if you'd like to print the recipe, you could always visit my blog in the link below. And for brand new videos every Tuesday and Friday, don't forget to subscribe. See you again soon.